Greetings, all you very rare individuals. Welcome to the Afro-Scot podcast. This is episode 5. We're going to talk about the disappearance of African identity, and this is the media section. Well, the first reason why our African identity is starting to leave us or become embarrassing to us even while growing up is the media really paints us in a bad light. Seen as poor and disadvantaged victims. Because of this, when people see us outside, the first thing that comes into their heads is, we must be struggling. We need to be taken care of. We need to be, cuddled or be sensitive around, and I believe that kind of destroys the African spirit, especially when you're young, growing up as a child, seeing every single time you're on the news or any media outlet like newspapers, we're seen as struggling. We need charities to take care of us. So if a child is constantly seeing that, what's the, how are you ever going to feel pride as an African or great as an African? You want to be somebody else that you're not. And I also believe that we also play into the media perception as well. And we seem to form our identity from it. Instead of creating our own identity, we follow it. It's much easier to become what we see on TV than actually becoming what we are supposed to be, who we are. When you go on TV and you constantly try and act like the basketballers, you try and act like the comedians, which I call the fools. Or even trying to act like the gangsters. All you're doing is just adding fuel to the fire and making us just look silly. All Africans look silly. Now, when I say us Africans, I'm not trying to paint us all as a monolithic. We're all individuals, but I'm speaking to the Africans and also to the Scots as well, for them to really understand our point of view and how we are seen and how it's detrimental to us as individuals, as Africans. So if we walk around sagging our pants, not wanting to go to school, selling drugs, doing all of these crazy stuff, that's just playing into the media's perception of us, and it's really just not good. And we're also seen as fools, man. When you go on any media outlet or any news or even any movie, film or whatever, or even Bix, the only time Africans are really shown is when we're either gangsters or fools, comedians, doing crazy stuff. You've got some guys walking around in just some crazy outfits, just looking bare silly, as if anytime we walk into somewhere we need to entertain them. And a lot of people seem to, even with me myself, when I walk into somewhere, I usually have quite a serious demeanor on. People sometimes expect me to be the life of the party, making them laugh like I'm supposed to be, the jester or something. And in my opinion, when you play into these perceptions of us that the media tries to portray, all you're doing is just adding fuel to the fire, like I said. So how can we fix this issue? Well, first of all, is by becoming the individuals who blaze the trail and slowly changing our perception into brighter and unique individuals. Because like I say constantly, we are not the same. We are not what the media tries to show us as. We are all different. So if people in general in the real life start to see us succeeding in areas that is not comedy or basketball or the very generic paths that Africans usually take, they start to see us as individuals, and they'll start to kind of stray away from what the media is saying, and in turn that benefits us as Africans in building our African pride.